back. Welcome back. We missed you. Did you miss us?
Ooh, I know damn well they did.
We hope you all are doing great. Thank you for listening. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, hi, bitches.
What's up, bobos?
We are your lovely host. I am Jessica.
I'm Brittny Fontanez. Ooh.
And you are listening to Mystifying Reality, the realest of the realest podcast you'll ever hear. You heard?
Facts.
The New Yorker
Facts.
came out. My New Yorker came out.
I was like, damn, let me stay silent.
You heard? All right. And today we are giving you a beautiful episode this week. We are going to talk about letting go of control and taking accountability. Like Brittny said last week, we are continuing the discovering the masculine energy, and we're just hopping on a little new train just to let you guys in on some insight.
Facts. All right, you guys, let's get into it. So, talk about letting go of control and taking accountability. Now, why is it that this is kind of a spin-off from the last episode we did of the masculine energy? Is because the
Because you're
masculine
coming for
energy,
me. Stop. Sorry.
girl, I'm coming from myself. What you mean? But
Shit.
but because I have to do this, I'm in the process of doing this because the masculine energy lacks doing this. They don't allow the feminine to come in, which is about releasing control, and they also lack take accountability, which actually makes the masculine embody emotional unavailability. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
this is very important because I feel the masculine energy has been taught to always be in control. And this is where the aggression comes out. This is where the wounded and the toxic side comes out. I'm not coming from you, Jessica. We're coming for all of us, even myself. All right? All right? Don't be. And that's another thing about the masculine energy. When in toxicity and lacking, letting go of control, they get defensive. They get
Period.
defensive.
Fuck
You
you.
know? I know you would. I'm gonna stay far away from you. She's like the older sibling, bro. but but letting go of control, taking accountability. This is very important when discovering the masculine energy because letting go of control allows you to learn that you're not always right. And you're not supposed to always be right. You're not supposed to always know what to do next and what's important and always thinking that you have the plan. The masculine always wants to have a plan, always wants to be logical, realistic. Letting go of control allows you to see the magical in life. It allows you to be spontaneous. It allows you to see there's something bigger than yourself because the
Yeah.
masculine is always in the ego. There's
Mhm.
more than your ego. You're more than your ego. You're more than your body. So letting go of control teaches you how to surrender, how to have compassion, how to hold space, but also to be open-minded. And that's what a lot of us lack is open-mindedness. We're so narrow-minded is to the point that we don't allow other people's opinions. And it gets to the point when people do talk, we either listen to respond or it's just like, oh, the way you think is just you get judgmental. But healthy masculinity, when you learn how to let go and control, is allowing yourself to be like, I hear you. I hear your perspective and I respect it. I'm not going to take it for myself because it doesn't resonate, but I respect it, you know?
Exactly.
And and that's the beautiful thing is when you let go of control, you allow yourself to be intrigued by life rather than trying to control life. Now, let's get into accountability because the masculine hates taking accountability,
I
doesn't
don't
know how to say
struggle
sorry.
too much about this one. It's
I,
whatever.
it's, it's not all about you, Jessica.
It is in my world.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. There's nothing wrong with that. But the masculine lacks taking accountability because masculine has a hard time expressing emotions, even at a young age. Boys are told, "Oh, you can't express emotion. You need to suck it up. Why are you crying? Be a man." And it's like, no one knows what that means. No one knows
Exactly.
what the fuck that means. But taking accountability is a beautiful thing. You know why? Because not only that you are seeing your own bullshit, but you're not making yourself a victim of your circumstances. And that's the thing. We always want to know the next step. We always want to be God and think we know it all so we can know what's next. Because if we think we know everything, we're safe. But control is fear-based. But when you let
Mm-hmm.
go of control, it's trust. It's
Exactly.
trust. But taking accountability allows you to stop being the victim and start being the victor. And go check out my YouTube video. I do talk about that, how to stop being the victim and start being the victor of your life. It has to get to a point when you take accountability, you don't allow your circumstances to dismantle your spirit. And that's very important because on my own journey, as I'm going throughout every experience of life, even importantly in relationships, because here's the thing, people think relationships is all about you being happy and being soothed. You're going to get the most triggered when it comes to relationships because that's when you learn about
Woo!
yourself.
Woo-wee.
Yes. And I've started to learn in my own journey is that I have to take accountability for every part of any interaction I'm in, especially a relationship, because I played a part in it. I entertained it. It's the reason why I have memories because of it. And when you don't take accountability, what you're doing is pushing away things you want. You're suppressing and you're making everyone else the villain and blaming life for the way that you are and for the way that your life is. And when
Mm-hmm.
you do this, you're sitting in your toxic masculinity. And that's not allowing you to take initiative in your life and to create structures that are stable, that make you feel safe, whole, and complete within yourself. So taking accountability is you seeing your own bullshit, you being honest with yourself, but you also having the maturity to grow and to actually be real enough with yourself to see where you're lacking in your life and where
Yeah.
you're not 100% and where you're actually not putting an effort in. I don't know why I'm being regarded towards relationship. It's just a weird thing. I think like a lot of people are in their masculine energy when it comes to relationships, and this causes a lot of not wanting to take accountability for your part in it. But I don't know why. That's just where my mind's going. So I accept it.
And you know what's crazy is like some people may say, well, I'm not controlling or I take accountability when it comes to things I do to other people. Maybe you're right. At the end of the day, you best. But that doesn't mean that you aren't lacking being controlling when it comes to yourself. And maybe in a partnership,
Facts.
that may seem like, well, you are not meeting my needs because I need this to be done this exact way and you're not doing that. That's control. Or, starting a fight because you're pissed and then not taking accountability. Oh, I'm gonna.
You gotta boo.
Yeah, I didn't sneeze. Sorry. Not taking accountability for starting that fight. That's also you hurting yourself. So it's not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
what you do to others or for others. It may just be for yourself too. You just kind of have to
Mm-hmm.
sit and pinpoint to do it. But nobody likes a sour grouch, and I feel like that's what we do when we just try to control everything. And then one thing is to like take control over something and it blow up and fuck up. But then for you to be like, that wasn't me, that was all you, that's crazy. You need to calm
Yeah.
down. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're human. I'm not going to tell you, I love control. Oh shit. I love control. I'm working on releasing that as we speak. I feel like
Facts. Me
everyone
too.
does. Right? I love when things go my way. It's like, ooh. And I'm an Aries, so it's like 10 times worse. Um, but if there's one thing that I know that I've learned is to be like, nah, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I
And
said that. I
apologizing.
apologize.
Yeah.
My fault.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Keep it pushing. Like, you're not going to die. Some people have a lot of fucking pride when it comes to this shit,
Yeah.
and it irks the living hell out of me. But hey,
Me
to each
too.
their own. It's just like something that we really need to work on. And it's just something, though, that like when we talk about just growing up, it's what we see. You know, I
Facts.
didn't see a lot of my male figures saying sorry or apologizing for fucking up. And
Same.
I didn't see a lot of my male figures. Now, now we're just talking about what I've seen, because honestly, I didn't see female figures either, but I did see them a little bit more than I would have male, because I don't remember seeing a male say, I'm sorry. Actually, that's a lie. My uncle one time screamed at my aunt, but then he bought her flowers and like was really nice, and that was nice. So that's a sorry to me. But other than that, I've never
That's so
really seen
funny.
that. I had never really seen that, and it's like, okay, what the fuck am I bringing to the table? All I know is I've
Yeah.
seen A, B, and C of all the same. Why would I be the different one? That's how we all think. Like, oh well, they did that, so I do that. No, no. If you know it's wrong, don't
Mm,
do it.
facts.
If you know it's
That's
not okay, stop
interesting.
doing it.
The masculine is so physical and it shows affection through like buying gifts and all that and
Oh,
everything. Yeah,
yep.
it's interesting.
It's such a that's when men come in, because I'm sorry. I don't really see females doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I would say I do that because I love
Oh,
to apologize and give gifts because like I said, I'm more of an androgynous being. But you're right. I don't see enough women doing that either when it comes to men because, there are good men out there, and I know a lot of good men, and even throughout my life, and the way they give love is like some women don't know how to reciprocate that back. I think it's beautiful when a woman could say sorry and actually give gifts to her man and actually, care for him and cater to him, rub his back, because they need that too. They deserve that
yeah,
too. And it's just like, you know, that's where we got to take accountability because it's like you can't keep blaming life for your circumstances. Like I do have a sibling who is like that and I see why I have to stay far away from her. I hate to do that, but it's like I don't like people who are so prideful and think they're so perfect and think they are God, that there's nothing wrong with them or they're innocent and they think like, oh, what I did, I have a reason to be like that. But it's like, but do you, or is it that you are too, it's like you don't want to see your own flaws because it makes you too intimidated to feel like, damn, I'm wrong. I love when I can tell myself I was wrong. I love when I do this. I love when I out myself and I give myself tough love because that shows to me that I'm capable of going into any situation and any dynamic and recognizing that it's not just about me. And
yeah,
that's what I love about taking accountability is that when I can recognize I'm wrong and when I done wrong, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It just means that I have to own up to my shit. It just
yeah,
means I have to mature and grow up. And that's what accountability is. A lot of people lack taking accountability because they're not ready to grow the fuck up. They're
yeah,
not ready to change. They're not ready to embody the best version of themselves. And what I mean by the best version of themselves is the mature aspect of what their spirit and their soul is trying to level up to. That's the
yeah,
reason why a lot of people don't gain, I don't want to say success, but don't gain their ideal life that their mind is and God is giving them the visions is because they're not ready to learn their lessons. They're not ready to go through the process. This is why we try to control everything and suppress everything with distractions and coping mechanisms, is because we're not ready to learn those lessons. But when you don't learn the lesson, you repeat the pattern, you entertain it, and the only person you could blame is yourself.
yeah. I think there's a lot of correlation between trauma and like things that happen in the past with control and taking accountability. I feel like, disclaimer. Um, it's things that no one wants to talk about, but that quite frankly they happen. Rape, abuse, abortion, miscarriages, all these things happen to us, and we try to control it by either, you know some people choose to do what was done to them. Some people choose to act like nothing happened, but then they live a sour life. Some people choose
Mm-hmm.
to talk about it, but kind of broadcast it instead of healing. It's more of like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell you my sap story so you can feel bad for me. And then there's actually people that
Yeah.
do the work, right? But the problem is that in all of this, we're controlling and no one's taking accountability. Like, yes, this
Yeah.
happened to me. Yes, this is shitty. This was not okay. It should have never happened to me. And if it
Mm-hmm.
has, and you're listening to this, I'm so sorry and I love you. But
Yes. I love
we
you.
are we are more than what happens to us, right? That's the problem. We stay so stuck on, oh, I want to control it because like I never want to feel like that again, so I'm never going to do this or this and that. But then where's the part of like, yes, this happened to me, I accept it, it wasn't okay, what am I going to, what is going to come out of this, what am I going to do about it?
Exactly.
We yes, people do things to us, but it's up to us to then get out of that and to not become
Exactly.
that. We are not the people that hurt us. We're not the
Mm-hmm.
circumstances that we've been through. And yes, there's a moment when you feel like that, but
Yeah.
that's
And
not
that's normal.
forever. Exactly. And
That's
it's normal. And
normal.
it's a part of
Yeah.
the grieving process, understanding, becoming one with your experiences. But your experiences help make you, they don't
Exactly.
form you. And
Oh,
that's where people have an issue. And I just needed to say that
yeah.
because it's a struggle out here.
Bro, it is a struggle, but that's facts. Like she just said, you guys, taking accountability helps you see your past, but not identify with it, but redefine it. You're not defined by your past. You could redefine it, but you got to take accountability. And I know, like she said, it's a struggle. It sucks to be the one, to be the big person and be like, that shit happened to me, and they poured their pain onto me and they projected onto me. And even with our heritage and our bloodline,
Hmm.
we the beliefs that we were given, we have to take accountability for them, because if we're aware of it, we have to be the one that changes it. But we have to
Exactly.
take accountability for why we keep entertaining that pattern. But that's
Exactly.
where your power lies, you guys. When you could take accountability, your power lies in the ability to change it, hence the redefining of your life.
Yeah.
And this is why it's so beautiful. I think it's beautiful to take accountability, because when you can own up to say you're wrong, when you can own up saying this happened to me, but it's not who I am, when you can own up and be like, this is what's best for me, this is what's right for me because of what I went through, not because it's baggage, it's because I learned how to unpack my baggage and create boundaries. That's beautiful, because you allow yourself to be like, I'm not a victim, I am a victor. Everything that we went through was teaching us how to overcome what has overcame us. Because when
Exactly.
you don't take accountability for anything, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to be the victim towards the circumstances you created. And then
Hmm.
you're going to start walking around thinking that you're entitled to everything and everyone has to tolerate your attitude based off of your trauma. No one has the right to tolerate how you treat them based on the excuses you have about your past.
Exactly.
It's not fair. It's
Mm-mm.
not fair. So taking accountability gives you the opportunity to allow yourself to create a beautiful story from what you've been through, or allow it to traumatize you. That's where your power is. We have the power to be like salty about life or to be excited about it. It's really up to you. We're so powerful, we can choose our own suffering or our own happiness. That's how powerful
Exactly.
we are. That's why it's important to let go of control, because a lot of people wear their pain like a badge of honor, and that's where they find their control. Like, even when people who are emotionally unavailable in relationships, their control comes from running away. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, if I run away, I have control of the situation. Oh, if I brush it out on the rug, I have control of the situation. No,
Or
you're just
just,
running away.
or they worry about the other person's emotions, and it's all about the other person and nothing about themselves.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
oh, we love that control. Not.
Not. Definitely not. I think it's beautiful when someone could I think it's beautiful when someone could tell me what I done wrong, because that lets me know they care enough about themselves and
Me.
about me to keep me in their life. Yes, exactly you. This is why I fucking love you, because you're
But I don't
so
really
real.
do that though. I don't really do that though.
But when you do like put me in my place and let me know, hey, you kind of like this bothered me, I'm like, oh, I respect that. Thank you for letting me know that so I know how to treat you the way you deserve it. That's the thing. When you
That's
could take
respect,
it
like
is
both
respect.
ways. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why accountability is important because you learn how to respect yourself and others. We
Yeah.
already live in the world where people hate on people, judge other people, talk behind people's backs, shit on people's success. And it's like, it shouldn't be like that. What you give out is what you get back. If you hate on someone's success, best believe you're not going to receive it. If you love on someone's success, best believe you will receive it. Because it's all about recognizing where your power is. And if you think your power comes from being the victim, best believe you're going to live a life of misery. But if you allow yourself to become the victor and let go of the control of thinking your pain is your badge of honor for you to think that you're entitled to everything, and you allow yourself to be like, listen, I'm not perfect, I'm imperfect, but I can accept myself. And I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have or what I've been given and make something better out of it. That's what's
Exactly.
beautiful about letting go and taking accountability. That's
Yep.
from my perspective.
And I also think that even like you may be doing that work, like you may be trying to already fix that within yourself, but if you're surrounded by a group of people that judge that or think like why are you doing that,
Mm,
you're surrounded by a group of people that are talking shit to you about somebody else in your group of people, they're talking shit to them about you.
not you.
So it's a lot of like, it sucks that it's like that. Like, I feel like everything in this world, you kind of have to do it alone before you bring others into it. Not saying that that's the
Yeah.
right way to do it, but if you are bringing other people along your journey, just be mindful about
Hmm.
fakeness and energy suckers and like those people that will control you and manipulate you and not take accountability for what they do, all while you're trying to like
Gaslighting.
heal. So I just want to make sure that we're aware of that because surprisingly, I know a lot of people who aren't aware of that, and that's
Hmm.
why they get stepped over, abused,
Yeah.
taken
Hmm.
advantage of,
And then
and they're
become the
just like,
victim of
oh,
they're
they're my friend. Is
Yeah.
that your friend? Would
But
you
you're
do
making
that to
excuses for
them?
them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We need to stay woke, people, because this is.
Facts. We're going through spiritual warfare right now, man. We're going through people think we're going through a war. We shouldn't be worried about the physical war. There's a spiritual warfare going on. There's literally, I believe there's angels, demons, evil, good, light, dark going at it right now. And this is
Yeah.
why we have to be mindful and know our sovereignty. But first we have to know to find our power. We first got to know thyself. We got to
Mm-hmm.
know our flaws, we got to know our triggers, and we got to learn how to counteract that so we can learn how to not let our spirit be dismantled by this physicality. And the
Yeah.
masculine is all about physicality. But when the masculine doesn't have control over the physical, what does it have control over? The spiritual. And that's where
Mm-hmm.
the feminine energy has to come in. But that's also where the accountability has to come in. Seeing that emotions, seeing the triggers, seeing where we went wrong, seeing how we neglected ourselves and hurted ourselves, and see how we let ourselves down. But also realizing I'm all I got. So how can I make
Yep.
myself proud? But I got
Exactly.
to but in order to do that, I got to see where I went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
That's where it
beauty.
starts.
That's where it starts, man. When you become I think self awareness is the most important thing right now. Because
Mm-hmm.
even though people are falling into the spiritual ego at first, that's the first beginning stages of spiritual awakening. We fall into the spiritual ego, thinking we got to save everyone, thinking that there's nothing wrong with the world and we always should see light. Nah, boo boo, you toxic. I know I'm toxic. I have some toxic traits that are subconscious and conscious.
We
I
all
know when
do.
I'm wrong. We all do. But when we could see this, nothing can dismantle our spirit. Nothing can use, abuse, or manipulate us because we know who the fuck we are. And that's where we gotta be right now. Is not knowing the good attributes, but the bad attributes about ourselves. But still owning that, recognizing this is not who I am, but what can I learn from being this version of who I used to be and who I want to be?
Exactly. I think life and we were made to have that balance of good and bad. I don't think that we're all just good. I think we need some bad to
Mm-hmm.
balance it out. I don't think that
Facts.
if I don't think the word perfect is a word, because there isn't anything that's well, we're that's besides the
Perfectly
point.
imperfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfectly imperfect. I just think that we really need to just own that and just really know that to live life, you're constantly working on yourself. You're constantly evolving. You're constantly bettering yourself, but not being perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as perfect. Not being the best. You could be the best you. No one can beat you at that.
Exactly. There's no competition, you guys.
There isn't, and there shouldn't be. Sadly,
There
there
shouldn't
is
be.
in this world. There is, and we're taught from little. Only one person can be at the top. Fight your way through it, and I just think that that's stupid, and that's just a part of our
Mm-hmm.
corny government. Um,
Yes.
I just think that there's way different ways that we can view that, but it all comes with self-awareness. If you can't tell
Facts.
yourself about yourself, or if someone were to ask you today, tell me all the good attributes and all the bad attributes that make you you, we have a problem, Willis, because
Facts.
that's the
Mm-hmm.
minimal that you should be doing right now. We're living this life to live up to our potential self, good and
Yes.
bad, all the experiences, and always constantly, just like we want our money to grow, we have to grow, right? So
Exactly.
we just kind of have to be on that grind, because if you fall
Facts.
behind, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be lost.
Mm-hmm. And understand, you guys, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If you want your money to
Exactly.
grow, you got to grow your mind. You got to grow your
Exactly.
heart. If you want love to grow, you got to be emotionally available for yourself. You know,
Exactly.
like we, our worth is not defined by what we have and what we do. It's defined by who we
Exactly.
choose to be. So this is why they say health is wealth. When you take care of you, your life takes care of you. So,
Hmm.
but it all starts with you guiding to see you. If you can't share, like this is why when you go to job interviews, tell me something about yourself. A lot of people can't answer that. They'll be like, that's
I'm nice.
bad.
I'm nice.
Right? Like, I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Like, hi, my name is Brittny Fontanez. I suffer with codependency. Like, like if you can't, I like for me in my last relationship, I was so vulnerable that I expressed my insecurities. Be mindful of that. It's where you got to set boundaries because that's where manipulators can abuse that. But I was real vulnerable about my insecurities, about my abandonment issues, about my trust issues, and even though that was her choice not to acknowledge that. I had to learn how to take accountability for entertaining someone who wasn't emotionally available to hold space for me, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I also had to take accountability when I had a bad attitude and I wasn't able to express myself, regardless if she wasn't going to listen to it. I still lacked expressing myself. I had to take accountability for that, you know?
She did. Oh,
So,
trust me, she did.
what you mean? Oh, my bad, you
You
guys.
took accountability. You forget who you took accountability with? Me.
Oh yeah, facts. I did. Facts. I was like, I'm over here thinking about food, and I'm just like, what? Oh, she said
Oh
that,
my goodness.
but I'm always hungry. But
Same.
that was, I would say, well, the last thing I want to share too is like the reason why I feel like we're identifying with this with the masculine energy because the masculine always wants to be praised, always
Yeah.
wants to be like, oh, you're the best, you're
Head
amazing,
on
I
the
have to look up
back.
to you, right? Like, oh my god. But it's like if you look at most of the leaders in our world and the people we idolize and identify as our idols, they have a lot of things under the surface that people don't know about that makes them a very dark individual. And they all want to brush it under the rug and say, oh, I'm sorry, that's not true. Just own that shit. Own when you fucked up. Own when you didn't give apology. Own when you done something stupid. It doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a bad person when you don't acknowledge it, but it doesn't make you a bad person when you acknowledge it because you're learning. If we were meant to be perfect, none of us would exist. There would be no such
Exactly.
thing as evilness. But the reason why we have imperfections and the reason why we have hiccups and mistakes we have to make, because that's how we learn. Our God is so intelligent that we have to learn lessons through our own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to learn those lessons, we have to own up to the shit that created the mistake in the first place. But
Ain't
we
that
have
some
these
shit?
mistakes to learn. Exactly. We have these mistakes so we can learn to grow and make different decisions. Plain and simple.
But that's
But
life, and
that's
that's what it should be.
exactly, you know?
And
And
if
I
you're
think it's
not a, oh,
beautiful.
sorry.
No, go
You
ahead. No, go
said
ahead.
you think it's beautiful. I think if you're not feeling uncomfortable where you are in life
Mm,
right now, you're not doing it right. I think you're playing it safe. And I
facts.
think if you're
Too
playing
safe.
it safe, you're not living life. And that's just how I feel. I think that
Hmm.
how I want to end this is by saying you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's impossible.
It's true. It's really true.
Drops the mic. Boom.
I know, yeah. You spelled some nuggets on these two episodes. I give you that one. I was like, damn, she's really in her masculine. You know, this is Jessica.
Yeah. And I own it. So,
Facts. So I love you, but
you too, boo. Thanks for
that's
listening, guys.
facts. You guys, appreciate you guys. Let us know what you felt about this topic, because I know I felt like a lot of people might got triggered from this one.
Yes. Let
Most
us know.
definitely.
Hit us up. DM us. Slide through that DM on Instagram at Mystifying Reality Podcast, or you can email us at Mystifying Reality Podcast at Gmail, or you can comment down on our post on Spotify. I see one of you did. Marie, love you. Thank you.
Appreciate you, boo.
We love you guys and thank you for listening and taking the time. We'll be back next week. Love you.
Facts. Love you
Deuces.
guys. Only love.